Thanks, BB. Ollie, this is what happens when you make the top six. Everyone in the New Zealand media turns up. Good to see so many faces on the call. Fantastic. Sav, great to see you, mate.
Meow.
Ollie, mate, congratulations. I mean, what's the feeling in the team the day after you've confirmed your place in the top six?
It's a great sense of pride, to be fair. I think if, it's been mentioned a lot since last night's result and throughout the year, this group of boys has been through a lot. This football club's been through a lot. We've had so many people have to go above and beyond, invest themselves further, invest financially further. Our owners over the last 2 years, and the fans have had to invest their support while not getting the usual reward. So it's just a massive sense of pride, really, that this group of boys have withstood everything that's been thrown at them over the last 2 years, and obviously more so this season with a new bunch of players, and to have achieved what we've achieved, it's no small feat, but also excitement. I mean, as we've shown this year, there's no one that we can't beat on our day. So, going into playoff football with a squad like that can beat anyone on any given day is pretty exciting.
And you mentioned ups and downs and challenges thrown your way. How have you dealt with the, if we call it peaks and troughs, how have you dealt with the troughs this season, personally and as a team?
Look, I'd be lying if I said on a personal front it's been a big psychological and emotional roller coaster this year. I think conceding the number of goals I have and suffering some of the heavy defeats that I have, it took its toll on me a lot more than I thought it would, to be fair. I think I'm quite a resilient character, and I like to enjoy my footy, and I bounce off things pretty sharply. But yeah, it's taken its toll, and I imagine everybody's in the same boat. And in terms of as a collective, that's the amazing thing about this group. The lows don't seem to really bother anyone. And I said it at the start of the year. I don't know if you guys recall it, but I said that the beauty of having such a young squad is that they're blissfully unaware and somewhat naive about the situation around them. They don't comprehend a lot of the pressures, the external pressures, which is brilliant, because that's something that Uffy likes to use and focus on. And he talks about the fact that the pressure's only internal. It's only the expectation of what we have of ourselves. And that makes dealing with everything, the troughs as you called it, quite a bit easier, because this group has an amazing ability to brush things off and just move on and just focus on the next task. And I think that has allowed us to achieve what we've achieved.
Oh man, thanks, man. I'll pass it on.
Kia ora, Ollie. Nigel here from Today FM. I hope the audio is reasonably clear. Just from your point of view, what's your preference? Would you like to play that final game, or is there part of you that wouldn't mind having a break before playoff football?
Are you talking about myself personally?
Yourself personally.
Look, I would like to play. I'm a big believer in momentum, and I spoke a lot about it last year with my performances, and unfortunately it's something I haven't quite been able to build throughout this season. Like I said, there's been games where we've copped heavy defeats and I've conceded a lot of goals, so the momentum in terms of personal performance hasn't quite been there. So I'd like to play, and look, they're the top dogs. They're the top of the league, and I always want to test myself against the best. And they're coming off the back of a shock defeat, and they've got everything to play for in terms of the premiership, and so do we. We can finish fourth, mate. So those are the types of games I want to play in. I want to test myself against the best, and I want to play when there's things on the line. And I want to achieve things for the football club and be the one responsible for doing that. So yeah, if you ask me, I want to play. But and saying that, if he chooses to rest me should the results not go our way, then that's not an issue. That's a tactical decision, and I'm more than happy to rest up.
And the last one from me actually relates to your decision not to make yourself available for All-Star voting to really sort of commit to preparation for that World Cup qualifier? Was that a relatively simple decision? Can you talk us through that decision-making process, please? Thank you.
Yes, it was a simple decision, to be honest. Look, it's an amazing spectacle, and having a football powerhouse like Barcelona come down under and having the opportunity to play them would have been amazing. But I've got bigger fish to fry at this point in time, and I want to get into camp as soon as possible with the national team and put my hand up for selection for those upcoming games. So, look, it's wonderful to be considered amongst all those men for that group, but it was a pretty simple decision.
Thank you, mate.
Oli, can I just ask, you made a couple of really crucial saves at the end there, and I think you laughed after one of them. How much relief was there when both of those hit the post?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I always try to play with a smile and enjoy myself, and it seems to be the last couple of weeks we've ridden our luck a little bit, particularly against the Wanderers. They hit the crossbar twice in that game as well. One of which I might add was a save that wasn't picked up on. But yeah, so I think sometimes you just have to laugh. Football's got a funny way of going about things, and like I said already, I've copped a lot of goals this year. So to make saves with the assistance of the post I had to giggle, and I said it in my post-match interview up in Auckland against the Wanderers. I just felt like we were never going to lose, no matter how many shots they had, or no matter how many times they hit the post, or no matter how many saves I had to make, I was going to make them. And so I was just giggling in my own head, because in those moments I was telling myself, you're probably going to have to make one or two big saves there. And yes, I was just giggling to myself, really.
Yeah, because although you touch on the fact there's been a lot of heavy defeats, and I think you could head into the playoffs with the worst goal difference in A-League history, but it must be quite nice as a goalkeeper that, it was your saves in that game that, were able to secure the win.
Yeah, it was very nice. And that's my job at the end of the day. I think the performances where I've contributed more have probably been the games where they've been closer, and whether that's an adjustment I need to make psychologically, where after conceding a few goals, I struggle to keep myself in the game. I'm not sure. It's something that I've been talking to Goffey and Uffy about, and in the previous game against Melbourne Victory, when we conceded the penalty, they were both very vocal, trying to fire me up, because I asked them to assist me in that role, because especially as a captain, it's an important moment for me to be a presence. And yeah, last night was a closer affair, and I made some important saves, so that's natural for my competitive edge to take over in those moments. So I find those, funnily enough, games more comfortable.
Yeah, no, good. And just the final one, we're about to talk to Reno, but I guess you had front row seats to a pretty spectacular goal from him last night. What was it like? Watching him score that to win the game.
He's a very, very, very talented player, Reno, and we've seen that from him for 3 years now, and I'm not surprised he scores goals like that. His technical ability is outstanding. He reads the game so well. He's a very, very important cog in our machine, and it was a pleasure watching that. Saw him. He works so hard. It's a position for him. You only probably have to ask him. Playing the 10 role the way that Uffy sets it up is not his cup of tea. He does a lot of defending and a lot of running, and he's a superstar of a player. And I'm sure he would love to just receive the ball in the opposition half and have freedom to run at players. But his work behind the ball a lot of the time goes unnoticed. And there were moments you may or may not recall from last night where second phase ball spilled to him in our box, and he's just so clever. He controlled the ball a couple of times within our box, used his body, although albeit a small frame, uses his body so well to protect it and clears danger. And those are key moments for us as a team when we're under pressure like that, and wave after wave of attack is coming, and it's no surprise he's getting recognition like, you know, A-League All-Stars and those sorts of things, because for me he's one of the best footballers in the league. And it was an absolute pleasure to watch that one float in, and it couldn't have come at a better time for us.
Yeah, no, cool. Cheers for all that, and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Ollie, Michael Burgess here from the Herald. Just wanted to know how you think you guys have done this, because you were written off at the start of the season by a lot of people, and then I think in late January, early February, you were sitting on the bottom of the table, and there was a lot of doom and gloom from the outside. So how do you think you guys have actually managed this?
Firstly, probably, like I touched on earlier, the group's ability to brush adversity off and move on. Secondly, I think a lot of credit has to go to Uffy, doesn't it? You know, we've got a young, inexperienced group of players. We've had a lot of injuries. We've had COVID interferences. We've had tough fixture lists, all those sorts of things. And his tactical nous and understanding for the game and the competition as well, the understanding of the competition has shone through and carried us through. And I think if you had told me at the start of the year that we would have made playoffs football, I would have hoped with every inch of me that we would have. But if you had have told me the types of lineups and the formation and things that we were putting out week in, week out for like the last 10 games or so at least, I would have said, yeah, that's probably going to be a struggle to make the finals. But it's a testament to the character of this group. It's a testament to Uffy and the staff's leadership, and also just the to be fair, the individual performances within our collective. You know, you guys have touched a lot on the last couple of weeks of David Ball's commitment to the football club. Those sorts of individual contributions carry teams, and you know it's not an individual sport, but contributions like that can go a long way. You know, there's unsung heroes as well, like Tim Payne. For me, week in, week out, one of the best defenders in the competition, and a great baller in terms of in possession of the football as well. So everyone stood up when they had to, and so it hasn't been perfect and it hasn't been pretty, but we've done what we've had to, and like I said, I wouldn't want to take us on in playoff football.
And your voice, is that from all the shouting last night or the singing afterwards?
Just last night. I was actually bedridden for 2 days before the game. I didn't get out of bed till 3 p.m. yesterday. I didn't train the day before. I was a bit ill, so there was no celebrations for me last night, unfortunately. But I'll make up for lost time.
Did you have a heavy cold or something, or more serious?
Yeah, no, nothing serious. Went through every COVID test protocol for a number of days, just a chesty cough really. My partner wasn't too happy. Her quote was, "I made her birthday all about me." But no, apart from that, no dramas.
Thanks, Ollie.
Ollie, given what this team's been through, you mentioned injuries, of course, COVID, injuries, being away from home. Has it sunk in what you guys have achieved?
I don't know, Sav. It's a hard one. I think when the season's finished, because I'll reflect on that, because I still firmly believe there's more to achieve this year. But yeah, I think it is a really amazing achievement, to be quite honest. I think back to when I first arrived at the football club and the experience that this squad held. It's incomparable. Like there was the likes of Tyler Boyd, Michael Boxall, Kenny Cunningham, Jason Hicks, Matty Redenton, Alex Rupert. That was our bench every week when I arrived at the football club. You know, people with numerous all whites international caps, foreigners, top A-League players were on the bench for us. We had enormous squad depth, enormous experience, so much talent. And when you look at the squad this year, it's young, it's fresh face. Yeah, there's so much talent and so much to be excited about. But normally when you talk about achieving things and making finals football and winning trophies, you talk about experience, and we don't really have that within the squad. So yeah, I don't think it has really sunk in how much of an achievement this is. But there'll be plenty of time to reflect on that post the season, because I still believe this group's got more in it for the season and more to achieve. And you know, there's a number of teams in this playoff series that we've already beaten this year. So we're eyeing up more.
If you look at, say, the Breakers and the Warriors, all three teams have faced numerous challenges, but you guys have made the playoffs again. And I'm sure you've been asked this question a million times, but what's been the biggest challenge for you in particular?
Yeah, you're right. It's a funny thing, being the only Kiwi team in an Australian competition. I'm family friends with the Clarys, and when I signed with the Knicks, I had a conversation with Ivan, who called to congratulate me, but he also said, you don't know what you're in for. Having coached the Warriors prior to that, he said, you don't know what you're in for. It's a hard task at the best of times, but like you touched on, the last 2 years have been extremely challenging in every aspect. And I don't think I can really sum it up, because playing at home in front of your own fans is one aspect which adds so much to your game, but just the unknown of which stadium is going to be your home stadium this week. Is there going to be anybody there? You know, how many of our fans are we going to have there? All those sorts of things. They all do take a toll on you, and they all do weigh on you. But the adversity, the resilience, the character that this group shows week in, week out, it's all accumulated to us making the playoffs. And it's a testament to our leaders, you know, our owners, the people back home, all the staff, our senior players, people like Roofs, who set a standard while he was leading the team for the first part of the season, and unfortunately couldn't be with us for the rest of the season. But it's a testament to all those people, and these young boys should be very, very proud of what they've achieved. And I hope that they go on to have illustrious footballing careers and achieve so much. But no doubt that they'll still look back on this with fond memories and great pride.
Can you just clarify the Clearys? Did you go to school with Nathan, or what's the link there?
Just family friends through Auckland. Also spent a lot of time my childhood up in Waipu Cove in the summers, and they had a family place up there back in the day, and it was neighbouring where we were. So spent Christmases with them most years growing up in the summers, and
backyard cricket.
Yeah, plenty of that. And Nathan was a very talented footballer himself at Sacred Heart College as well. And wonderful family. And I follow obviously Nathan very closely. And they're beautiful people. And like I said, Ivan was a mentor for me of sorts early on. So yeah.
The more you win, does the higher your room get? Looks like you're quite high up there. Do you get better accommodation with each game?
I've got the captain's penthouse now.
Lovely. Well done, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Oli, could I just clarify? So you'd been sick. Were you any doubt of playing last night?
No. I wasn't too bad still, to be honest. It's just a heavy cough. I decided not to train the day before because I wasn't feeling. That was probably when I was feeling worse. So I let it settle down for the day and just spent all of yesterday in bed, and got up to eat mid-afternoon and just prepared for the game. But I wasn't in doubt of playing. There was a lot on the line, and from a leadership point of view as well, I felt like I had to be there. So there was no doubt of me playing.
Well, good. After you and David Ball, I feel like no one's got any excuses anymore for not playing. But
Any final questions, guys, or we leave it there? Reno's ready to go.
Looks like he's fallen asleep, has he? No?
Brenton, I've just got a quick one. Hey, Oli, it's Narelle from News Hub. You know, congratulations making playoffs. That's one goal ticked. Now what? How far do you want to go?
Yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, the results have to go our way prior to Melbourne City's the Melbourne City fixture anyway. So we'll wait to see what happens there in regards to what we can achieve in the regular season. If it's all to play for, and if he feels like he can put out his best squad and still be fresh for the first playoff game, then we're going to be eyeing up fourth spot, because we get to go home and play some more footy in front of our fans, and that'll be a special achievement for the football club. But if that's not to be, then we'll I'd imagine we'll freshen up some players and look forward to Friday or Saturday next week against whom will remain to be seen. But what we can achieve in the playoffs is you can't say, like I just touched on, we've beaten a lot of those teams that are in there. I think Melbourne City and Adelaide are the only two that we haven't beaten out of that bunch. So, and that could change on Monday night. So you can't put a limit on it. It's 90 minutes of football, same size field, same rules. And it doesn't matter. This league, week in, week out, shows that anyone can beat anyone. And on our day, we're better than anyone. We're as good as anyone. And so when you've got players like Resman scoring goals like that last night, then we can show up and beat anyone. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the playoff football actually, and turning a few heads. My preference from a egotistical point of view would be Melbourne victory. I didn't appreciate last week's defeat, and yeah, I'd love to tidy that one up.
Awesome, thanks, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Oli. We'll leave it there.